Alright, so today we're talking about Vertigo. Some people love it and some people hate it. I don't really care what side of the debate you're on. Today we're going to learn how to absolutely obliterate the B bomb site. Alright, so let's go ahead and dive right in. There have been a few changes since the last time I covered this site, most notably to the spawn timings. The two closest CT spawns to B will always beat out the best spawn from the T side, meaning even if you have the best spawn available, they could be set up waiting for you. Now, it is CS2 after all, so you could just go for a Ferrari peek, but that's pretty risky. Instead, you should have a teammate go along this wall and left-click a flash right out of this window, blinding anyone out there trying to hold and making it a whole lot easier to peek. This works as a pretty good way to aggressively take control of the pit or stairs area. However, the CTs will likely begin mollying you off at the start of the round to try to combat this rapid flash peek. But hey, you can always just respond to that by banking a smoke off the sidewall to immediately extinguish any sort of molly they throw your way. This is something you'll see the pros doing almost every single round. And if the CTs are really concerned about you pressuring pit or stairs, they'll often throw a couple of HEs your way, either as you're approaching towards the doorway or down past the smoke. And if they're doing a pretty good job of denying you all of that early round space, it's likely that they'll begin moving into cheeky positions along the staircase to make it even more difficult to gain this control. And hey, if you suspect they're hanging out along the staircase here, you can go along this part of the wall, move your crosshair from this hole over to the dark line, and do a simple jump throw with both a molly and an HE to discourage any of that bad behavior. Or hey, if you suspect they're further over towards the corner, you can adjust it left and right as needed. Alright, so once we've taken control of both stairs and pit, we're on to the next phase. And the two most immediate positions we're going to have to worry about are this white box here and cubby. For cubby, it's pretty easy to just go along this box and do a left and right click throw with the molly to just completely burn anyone out of this position. Feel free to spam it a bit as well to make sure you're doing maximum damage. And when it comes to white box, my favorite thing to do by far is to just double HE this guy back into the Stone Age. So the first player in this situation is just going to go into this corner right here and aim at the upper right hand portion of this larger square. A simple jump throw, and that's going to bank right down and destroy anyone behind the white box. And while that's an awesome HE to throw on your own, if you have a teammate get wedged alongside you and the pillar, they can do a simple jump throw towards the top right of this little rectangle here along the wall, and if you time that right, you're just going to straight up destroy anyone behind this position. Or if you don't have a teammate at all, it may be better to just throw a molly from the first lineup position to completely burn out both the white box and double. Another pretty useful piece of utility for this phase of the round is a nice run jump throw off the back of this wall, smoking off the cross, allowing you to get all the way up into this cubby and lurk around. Alright, so that's enough of our staging utility. Let's go ahead and jump right into the actual site hit lineups right after a word from our sponsor, SkinsMonkey. So, SkinsMonkey is an automated CS2 trading site that provides an instant way for you to get new skins. All you have to do is select your old skins that you don't want anymore and then pick out some fresh ones to trade for. It's as easy as that. And right now you could get a free $5 if you use code TACTICS on the site. And finally, you could get up to a 35% deposit bonus when using my code. So thanks again to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Links in the description. Alright, so let's jump right back in. For the actual site take, most people smoke off the left and right side of the generator. Now, there are plenty of ways to do this, but the most common way is typically to go into this corner right here, crouch, aim at the top left corner of this box, stand up, and do a simple left click throw for a right side generator smoke. For the left side smoke, you can repeat the same steps, but instead of aiming at the corner, you just aim at this dark spot right here, stand up, and release just like before for a left side smoke that can also sometimes land in the dead center of the generator. However, the one downside to this smoke setup is the fact that the mid rotator can see right over that right side smoke, causing your teammates to get dunked on pretty often. You or a teammate can always just molly out connector by going into this corner and doing a simple jump throw at this position along the wall to completely burn it out. However, I prefer to take care of all of these angles with just the two previous smokes. And the only one I change up is the first one. Instead of throwing it for the right generator, I'll do a crouching jump throw at this intersection right here between the beam and the box, and that's going to end up landing perfectly right on top of connector, completely smoking it off. And for the second smoke, we're going to use the exact same lineup. Now, generally, I will raise my crosshair very, very slightly above the dark mark, just to have it more consistently land in the center of the generator. And that's very important because when it lands right there in the center, there are no gaps on either side from the CT perspective, and you've got connector smoked off, so there's really nothing they can do except push in front of this smoke. But that is one of the downsides to these smokes. If the CTs decide to push through them, there is a little pocket here that they could exploit. However, it's fairly easy to deal with that position. Just after throwing those smokes, without moving at all, I'll generally just left click a flashbang above this yellow mark to completely blind that position and most of sight without hitting my teammates as they're scaling up. And after that flash pops, they can peek and catch that player completely reading Braille against the back wall. And hey, from that exact same corner that you've already thrown all of the other utility from, you can left click a molly right here to deny anyone from using default as cover. It's just another nice little piece of utility to pair up with that full set. The only other piece of utility that I consider to be 100% necessary for this type of sight hit is a back pillar molly, and that's pretty easy to do as well. You or a teammate just needs to go along the front right of this box and do a simple left click throw at the highest bolt up on the staircase, and that should land right here and completely engulf this pillar, forcing that player out into the open, right onto the ground. So yeah, that pretty much takes care of all of your essential utility for the B site on Vertigo. If you're interested in more videos like these, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, I want to give a special thanks to all of the channel members on screen right now for making all of this possible. You guys rock, and I cannot thank you enough for your support.